Rumpelstiltskin. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a poor miller who loved to brag. One day, while talking to the king, the miller decided to show off. "My daughter," he said, "is so talented she can spin straw into gold." Now this was a lie. The miller's daughter, while very kind and hardworking, had no such magical powers. But the king was intrigued. "Bring her to my castle tomorrow," the king ordered. "If she can spin straw into gold, she will be richly rewarded. If not, well, let's just say she must." The miller's daughter was horrified when she heard what her father had said. She was taken to the king's castle and locked in a room filled with piles of straw. In the corner was a spinning wheel. "Spin all this straw into gold by morning," the king commanded, "or you will never leave this room." Terrified and unsure of what to do, the girl sat by the spinning wheel and began to cry. She didn't know how to spin straw into gold. Who does? The strange little man. Just as her tears began to fall, a strange little man appeared in the room. He was tiny, with an odd face and even odder clothes. "Why are you crying, my dear?" he asked with a grin. "I have to spin this straw into gold, but I don't know how," the girl sobbed. "Well," said the little man, "I can help you for a price. What will you give me if I spin this straw into gold for you?" The girl thought for a moment. She had nothing but the necklace she was wearing, so she offered it to the little man. "Very well," he said, and with a flick of his fingers, he set to work. The spinning wheel whirred, and before long, all the straw had turned into gleaming piles of gold. When the king came in the next morning, he was amazed. "Wonderful," he said, but instead of letting the girl go, he brought her to a bigger room with even more straw. "Do it again, and I'll reward you even more." The second deal. That night, the little man appeared once more. "What will you give me if I spin this straw into gold?" he asked. The girl, now even more desperate, gave him the only thing she had left, her ring. The little man accepted the deal and, just as before, spun all the straw into piles of gold. The next morning, the king was again impressed but still not satisfied. He led the girl to an even bigger room, packed with more straw than ever before. "If you can spin all this into gold by morning, I will marry you," the king promised. "But if you fail..." The final deal. When the little man appeared that night, the girl had nothing left to give him. "What will you give me this time?" he asked with a smirk. "I have nothing left," the girl whispered. "Well then," said the little man, "if you become queen, you must give me your firstborn child." The girl was horrified at the thought, but she was so desperate that she agreed to the deal, thinking that day would never come. Once again, the little man spun the straw into gold, and the next morning, the king kept his promise. He married the miller's daughter, and she became queen. A terrible promise. A year later, the queen gave birth to a beautiful baby. She had long forgotten her promise to the little man, until one day, he appeared in her room. "Now, give me what you promised," he demanded. The queen was heartbroken. She begged the little man not to take her baby, offering him all the wealth in the kingdom instead. But the little man refused. "I don't want your riches," he said. "I want the child." Desperate, the queen cried and pleaded until the little man felt sorry for her. "Fine," he said. "I will give you 3 days. If by the end of that time you can guess my name, you may keep your child." The name game. For 2 days, the queen tried guessing every name she could think of. Henry, Robert, William, but none of them were right. On the 3rd day, just as she was about to give up, one of her servants came to her with some curious news. "I was in the woods," the servant said, "and I saw a strange little man dancing around a fire singing, 'Tonight, tonight, my plans I make. Tomorrow, tomorrow, the baby I take.' The queen will never win the game, for Rumpelstiltskin is my name." The queen was overjoyed. She had discovered the little man's secret name. Rumpelstiltskin's defeat. When the little man came to collect the baby, the queen smiled and said, "Is your name Rumpelstiltskin?" The little man's face turned red with anger. "Who told you that?" he screeched, stomping his foot so hard that the ground cracked beneath him. In a fit of rage, he disappeared, never to be seen again. And so the queen kept her child, and she and the king lived happily ever after, thanks to a clever guess and the downfall of Rumpelstiltskin. The moral of Rumpelstiltskin: be careful about the promises you make, and never give up hope, even in the darkest times. The queen was trapped by a bad deal, but through perseverance and a little luck, she was able to outsmart the tricky Rumpelstiltskin. It shows that even when things seem impossible, clever thinking can save the day. Questions about Rumpelstiltskin. Why did the miller tell the king his daughter could spin straw into gold? What did the little man ask for in exchange for spinning the straw into gold the first time? What did the little man want from the queen after she became queen? How did the queen find out the little man's name? What happened to Rumpelstiltskin at the end of the story?
Little duck.